Yo everyone, it's Necro. Had a little bit of an issue with my OBS uploading the video and seems like my sound got really messed up, so I'm going to try and do a commentary that way. If you're curious about how this part got to the next part, then you at least have like my first experience playing through this part. Um, Probably just have some audio because there was no game audio for some reason in the recording. So I think maybe the Safe House theme. It's a pretty easy to listen to track, so please forgive me as I commentate over top of this. First thing you might notice is that I decided to get a heart rate monitor at the behest of some of my friends, and I think that was a really fun idea. Another good reason to not want to redo this, really. Also, I saved over top of all the saves, and now I'm starting to think that it might be a good idea to rotate even more saves, particularly on games like this where I can just go and go and go. That way, in case I ever do need to replay a part, if an issue like this comes up again, I can just go back and at least capture some real audio for you all to listen to, even if I have to maybe splice out the voice at some point. So, first thing that I ended up realizing was that I could use the antique coins, the antique or ancient, well, either way, the coins, to unlock these bird cages in here. And I decided that the Magnum would be the best use of my time, but right here I'm deciding what I want to spend them on. I would have loved to have grabbed the reload speed because I just, I don't know, ever since the Call of Duty days, really valued that sleight of hand perk and everything else that just kind of makes you reload faster, pump out more bullets and whatever. But I figured that that wasn't the most important thing in this game because I'm almost always out of ammo in one way or the other anyway, especially against regular enemies. So I opted to get the Magnum because it's just got a ton of damage, whatever. Figured I'd be going up against the boss fight since I'm about to walk into like Lucas's domain. So yeah, here I just realized that I have to spend one coin at a time, end up unlocking this Magnum. We'll get it right here. The 44 mag. That's a pretty sick looking gun too. Really sleek. Looks pretty good. But you'll notice I only have one ammo in it, so I run to the chest. I grab my bullets for the Magnum that I found from the toilet here in this house. And then I, what else do I do? Yeah, I think I decide to go ahead and just bank that away. Trying to decide like what I'm going to need to make it through, and if I remember correctly, I'm really struggling to remember exactly what I want to spend like all of these chem fluids on and stuff throughout most of this run. So just doing some inventory management. I decided that I've probably got enough bullets, got 2 health tonics, should do pretty well in getting me through all this stuff that's coming up. So I get my key cards, run over here to where Lucas is, plug those in. Take one more look behind me because I'm fairly certain I hear something happening, and I'm always overcautious when it comes to these situations. Saw a bunch of like glow stick juice on the ground and stuff. It's almost like a rave. And it's actually pretty unsettling to me. You can see my heart rate is steadily going up since I started. We're already 10, 15 over where I was at. You can see I'm starting to calm down. But this was very surprising to me. I expected, well, I don't know what I expected to be honest, but it wasn't this. I'm looking for some items, of which we find none. And the room is obviously pretty barren, so I decided that it's probably just best to push onwards. See the prompt on the TV, click on it, and whatever happens, happens.
Work. Ethan. Ethan, hold on. I got something for you. Looky what I've got. You know what this is for? You know what Zoe wants to do with this? She thinks this thing is special. No, Ethan. That ain't special. This right here is special. You see, Ethan, not everybody wants to turn back the clock. What? What, Evelyn? I'm just trying to show him. Not everybody wants to go back to how things were. Zoe's a stupid bitch. She doesn't understand that I don't want to go back to how things were before my father found y'all. Not everybody wants to turn back the clock. So Ethan, you can crawl around underneath that filthy, rotten house all you want looking for them ingredients, but you ain't gonna find a goddamn thing, Ethan. You'll need that serum? Ooh, baby. You're gonna have to come through me. You hear? Now, come on, Ethan. What do you say?
Fuck!
So, looking around for some items again. This does seem to be the kind of game where it's going to have replayability just based on how much you can learn from subsequent playthroughs. What I mean by that is being able to use the psychostimulants and finding where a bunch of hidden items are, and then being able to use those items on runs further down the line. Like if I was going to play on, I think it's called Madhouse difficulty, which is the next step up. I didn't even have access to that this time around, but yeah, it should be a lot easier in a way for me to play through normal first. I'm sure the item spawns are different on the higher difficulties, because back when I was doing the stuff in the processing area, I remember dying a lot to those, what were they called? Molded. And when I was going back through over and over again, and when I rewatched that video, I noticed that a lot of the items that I wasn't really paying attention to because I was panicking were actually different items every time that I came back and grabbed them. So like I got strong medicine one time, and then another time it was strong chem fluid. And I don't know if like the item placements themselves will be different on higher difficulties, but the fact that they're going to be different at all kind of makes it interesting. So yeah, just again, looking for some items. It almost feels like a fruitless labor, because later on here I'm going to come back with some psychostims, and you'll see that I do actually miss some items despite how carefully I feel like I'm looking at this point. And these things, I tell myself I want to use them for enemies if they chase me back through here. Back in like Resident Evil 4, they had tripwires like this towards the start of the game, and the enemies were pretty stupid, so they would just walk into them, kill themselves. I guess it made more sense in those games though, because there were obviously a lot more enemies if you've played through any of those. So being able to navigate around them, and I think that you know, the speed in which you moved in that game also was more conducive to that. Move the head here. This was finally found the photograph picture location, and it had the repair kit, and I got super excited to be able to finally repair that handgun I have. So here, I just take out a couple more of these things because I noticed that there's one hanging from the ceiling, which is pretty devious. I'm not super happy about having to waste all of my handgun ammo on these though. You know, he says that, and I realize that I probably shouldn't step too close, but it's kind of hard to judge where the blast range actually is. Look how suspicious this looks, right? So I pop that open, and I'm like, what is that? It almost looks like an explosive thing, right? But I try to shoot it, it's not. It's actually just kind of a bad angle, and I think it ends up being chem fluid. Looking for more items here. No, it's burner fuel, my bad. So I guess it kind of is an explosive, but you know how the items don't work that way, so. Look how inconspicuous this one looks. I say, okay, I won't waste ammo, and boom. Pretty unfortunate. So I heal up. Now at this point, I'm obviously never going to trust the box again. Looking here at the end of the hallway, realize like something is not right about this. I can't quite put my finger on it, but there seems like there's something missing from there, right? But I don't really pay it too much mind for now. This is when these traps start getting a little tricky. So we maneuver underneath of this one. We're able to shoot it. And here, I realize there's probably not going to be a lot of enemies, if any at all. So I go ahead and take care of this one, just in case I do end up needing to run back through this at some point. Because that's where my paranoid mind has taken me. This one, this box being here was pretty suspicious. Go ahead and do some more inventory management real quick. Got my gun repair kit out, and I'm going to go ahead and combine it with the handgun. I kind of like to look at these items, so I decided to examine that just to see like what was up with it, like what a gun repair kit in this game looks like. So we got the M19 Handgun. It says a relatively powerful handgun. It's in bad condition, but still usable. So I feel like that was maybe hinting at something about it, like maybe it breaks later on. But after using it a little bit, I don't think that's true anymore. So I deposit my handgun and then realize, oh, the ammo that I had already loaded into it, including the powerful shots, both are still in the other gun. So I basically am going to be wasting that ammo unless I pull that M19 back out and use up the ammo first, or the G17. The M19 is the current new one we got. So get that back in my slot that I'm familiar with, and can't remember. Yeah, I think this is where I decide to go ahead and pick up the burner as well, telling myself that I'll probably need that, and the knife is pretty useless since now I can't trust boxes to slash them with a knife. And I struggle a little bit with the inventory. Reload this to free up an inventory space, and get to pushing onwards. So we got a keypad here. We go to enter it.
I know.
And
Fucking password,
Lucas.
right? Why don't you try 0814? No! 0621. No, it's 0514. Oh, come on. Take a chance. You never know.
I'm like, well, do I trust him? No, probably not. And there's a lot of thoughts going through my head right now. And I say, you know what? And I back up just in time. because a giant guillotine comes through and crashes into the ceiling. And you can see that surprised me quite a bit. Pretty spooky. I'm positive it just barely missed me. I'm still trying to make sense of it. Heart rate spiking just a little bit. Alright, but with nothing else to do there, we just keep going forward. So here we have this long hallway, and immediately some red flags go up, thinking that's pretty suspicious. So we take some time. I go ahead and use some of this handgun ammo, and there again you see another exploding box. We go through, get some items. Pretty disappointed that I don't find anything in there. And with those things in general, the cabinets and stuff, more times than not it seems like they don't actually have items in them. So disappointing is a great word for those in particular. Back up, I think we're gonna take another shot at this box. Pick up the handgun ammo. I don't even think about it before just on instinct reloading. And then I think it's about right here I realize I probably should stop reloading because I'm trying to switch to my other handgun. And yep, right there. I don't know what made me think about it, but I turn around just in time to pop this guy in the head. Like I said, this hallway immediately sent up red flags, so that was pretty, it felt like justification. So I'm looking through here trying to figure out if I can like snipe this thing. Can't, so I think I finally decide to just duck through it. We see the barn here, but I decide it's probably, just in case this is like a safe room or something, I go in here. It's definitely not a safe room. There's these little wires all over the place, and I'm not 100% sure how to, navigate. I say it's probably okay. I'll just duck under this one, pop this one right here, and be able to duck under the rest of the room. I do not see this vertical wire. It's pretty hard to see overall, and that bites me in the ass real bad. I say, you know what, alright, and then I accidentally hit that other wire as Ethan stands up, and it kills me. You can see, look at frustration. I go ahead and hit the retry button. We're just gonna sprint back through this area here. Out. Much more careful this time around in this room. Pop that one. Go ahead and pop the one up top. And there, yep, that's when I noticed the one that I hit. So yeah, I'm just looking around the rest of the room, making sure that I've got all of them destroyed in due time. I'm trying to justify spending the ammo, but I decide I think in the end not to, or maybe this is where I try to use the burner to take one out. No, it looks like I just didn't bother. So I get a new antique coin. I'm getting pretty excited just because I'll have the opportunity to go back and get some stuff out of the trailer. And now I'm wondering if it's even possible to... Yep, there was two explosives. But I was wondering if it's even possible to get enough antique coins to unlock all the items in the trailer in one playthrough. It probably is, but you would probably have to find all of them. I know there's an achievement for finding all the antique coins, so that's probably how you do it. I don't think that they're spent on anything else. Not that I can remember, at least. So now we're in the barn. Now that enemies have shown themselves, I'm very cautious about where they might be coming from, and I believe there's like some like squelching sounds, and sure enough I look over and I find the culprit. First shot, just completely whiff it. It's like he knew just enough in enough time. 2, 3 headshots, which is already more than the other ones from the processing area. So I don't know if it expects you to just be using stronger weapons on these guys at this point or what, but they definitely seem to have more health at this point in the game. And then we have a crawler, big arm. I don't know what else to call them, but yeah, I try my best to take these guys out. He was not so hard. I don't know if it's because he was already damaged from being a crawler, but this guy, he just would not go down. And I don't know if it's just dependent on luck or what. I know I wasn't shooting him point blank with every single shotgun blast, but with as many as I did actually hit him in the head with, there's no way that he doesn't have more health than the ones before, or just it's up to luck to some degree. We're gonna make our way through the barn, slowly, looking for items, trying to listen for more enemies. Find some shotgun shells here, thankfully. I'm starting to feel okay about my ammo. I know that there was 2 enemies right there, and the one took a lot, but we're still doing okay. And then we have gunpowder and stuff. I'm basically, in my mind, mentally preparing for any kind of like boss fight. Because I feel like we're going to end up fighting Lucas since we fought Marguerite and Jack. So that's why I just want to go slow, make sure I have all the items I need and stuff. So, looking around, don't see any more enemies. I'm feeling a little bit more at ease. Make it into the save room, and I realize there's another videotape here. Still not exactly sure what that's for. I look around a little bit to see if there was like any video that we could watch in there or anything. But there's just not. So I do a little bit more inventory management. Get through that real quick. Realize what I have here are steroids, and that's what increases the max health. And I'm also wondering if like maybe if I use them I can heal off of it, like if it'll just top me off, but you know, on the off side that it doesn't, I go ahead and use them here in a minute anyway. I realize I've already used up all of my handgun rounds finally, so I go ahead and switch to the M19, put the other one away. Make a save, and I think this is about where... No, I almost hit new save. Man, that would have been so convenient if I would have done that. I don't know why my heart rate spiked all the way up to over 90 now. And sure enough, the steroids do heal you. So I wish I would have saved that for when I was more damaged. Scratch my nose. And get back on with it. So here I'm taking it in. I realize that at some point, if I jump off the ledge there, I won't be able to make it back around. So it seems to be like a one-way trip. Got some chem fluid. And just looking around for more items. And after realizing that I won't be able to come back around, I decided to go ahead and grab some psychostimulants and just run around the entirety of what I've already explored. That way I can find any items that I was missing. And in doing so, I ended up finding a few Magnum rounds, which I was super grateful for, but overall it did seem like kind of a waste to use the psychostimulants to just grab like 2 items. And with nothing really left to do, I go ahead and jump down here and note how long it takes Ethan to stand up. Makes me kind of nervous just in case something was in here with me and that was just preparing me for something. But since it didn't, I go ahead and take the time to look around for items or anything else that I missed that I saw from the corner of the psychostims. Go and pop that, grab some shotgun shells. Say, looks like it needs something. Yep, it's a battery. Say, if I can't go back, where the heck am I gonna find this at? It's not a huge spot. And here's what I was talking about. Do you see how it's like hitting the walls, the ground, the top? It's very strange in the way that it... I don't know if it was because I just wasn't close enough or whatever. That was probably more it than it was just whiffing. But it was very strange to see the way that it kind of just licked the walls and stuff instead of actually hitting the target. So I think that's probably worth testing out more. I think that if I do end up playing some of these games again, or even when I inevitably play Village, I'm going to try... I don't know if the item system in that game works the same way as it does in this game. I can only assume it does because I know it's first person as well. Though I've tried to avoid as much on it as possible, that way it's fair. See, right here, I don't mean to interrupt myself, but that was a suspicious distance. I had to have been right on the cusp of the explosion damage. But if I do play through Village, well, when I play through Village, I should say, I'm definitely going to be making sure that I spend a little bit less time scouring nooks and crannies, especially if items like psychostimulants exist. That way it'll both save me time and also give me a little bit more value whenever I use those items. So I feel pretty satisfied about my exploration of this area. I have the battery. I'm looking at this and trying to figure out what it does, and then I realize this orange cord is running to this generator. So as soon as I plug the battery in, I'm sure whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So we go ahead and activate that, and of course it blows up because this entire place is rigged to kill me. And I know you can't hear it, but you hear Lucas on the speakers, and sure enough, this is where we end up getting into some combat. The way he's making it sound is like a boss fight, and so I immediately decide to get the high ground. I see all this crazy stuff happening, and I have no idea what to expect is about to come out of this elevator. And it is a big boy, and you can see my face just kind of like, what the heck. I pull out the burner, I start hitting him with it. It does not seem to be doing that much though. And then I see this stream of just vomit hit me, and it look at how bad it hurts me. I have no idea what to do. So I try to heal. I try to put some distance between us, and he just keeps vomiting on me. And so I do my best to block. It's about that hit that I realize, like, that extra health I got from the steroids really is doing work right now. I'm doing my best to try and, like, keep away from him, but this vomit is just like projectile, like seeking me out. Fumble my keys around, try to find the right weapon to deal with this. Start to try and plug him and use this hay bell to get some cover. But I can't dodge this no matter what, it doesn't seem. Well, anyway, yeah, see, it just hits me again, and I have to take the opportunity to heal and reload. And I try to use the stairs to get away from him. And it seems like this is the best way to dodge him, is just use the stairs so that you can have a safe space to run away. And right here, I actually managed to pop his head right before I finished dying. So, he wasn't super terribly tough, but he did do a lot of damage to me, and I'm now out of healing items. I'm also a little bit stretched thin on ammo, but I still feel okay about my ammo situation. I have the Magnum in the chest, I have plenty of shotgun shells to take out at least a couple more enemies. And then I realized I also didn't use any of the stuff that I picked up to craft stuff. So I use a strong chem pack to make a full heal, and all of a sudden I'm feeling actually pretty good about my situation. The only problem is that I still haven't fought Lucas, and I don't have enough ammo for that. That's what I know. So I'm cautiously optimistic. Going forward, though, I'm also kind of in the mindset that I need to be even more aware of items. And so the door opens up behind me, and I don't know what to expect. Decide maybe the handgun's just going to be the best for now in case I need to pop any more traps or anything. And of course, this room has absolutely no items. And behind this door, I take a second. I don't know whether or not to shoot this guy, but he doesn't look like the other molded, so I give him the benefit of the doubt even though he's the same color. I go around, I see the gunpowder sitting in front of me. Leave him alone. I go ahead and grab that. I think those were actually supplements, not gunpowder. So I think I get some psychostimulants, and every time that I get these like psychostimulant things, I feel like it wants me to use them in the place that I'm in, but I'm always so hesitant to. So I end up holding onto those. I read this guy. I'm afraid that he's gonna hit me, but you know, he doesn't, so that's all cool. Then I see the combination there for what I assume is the latch downstairs is 1408. And I'm also sitting pretty on 3 chem packs, so that feels good. I just don't know what to craft it into at the moment because, you know, it's hard to predict what's going to happen next. One more antique coin for the road. And no more. I realize now that this is probably going to drop out to the hallway downstairs. Where I mentioned that there was an empty space, looked like something was missing, and sure enough, that's where it does drop. I'm not really sure what I was waiting for to happen there. Maybe a molded to come down at me or something. But, yeah, I do another quick set of inventory management, but you'll see in a second it doesn't actually end up mattering. Because Lucas wants me to put all my items in the trunk anyway. And as soon as I do, there's a click and the door opens. I look around one more time and I see this familiar figure. We're going to be doing the same puzzle that Clancy in the videotape did, which means that we have a big leg up on Clancy. I actually really like this touch in the game, something that uses prior knowledge to aid you in the present. It's almost like dramatic irony for the antagonists. Because obviously we know stuff that they don't. It's going to help us solve this puzzle. Particularly the password in the back. So I do the requisite steps. I'm checking around to make sure that nothing is different from the first time that Lucas set this trap up. So after I basically verify that, I go ahead and activate this part, turn on the lights, and listen to Lucas babble on a bit. My heart rate is somehow spiking very high out of nowhere. I might be doing some mental gymnastics trying to figure out if I'm actually going to end up dying or not. But, yep, here we go. We start doing the actual puzzle. The little burst of flame scared me a little bit, but we like that. Run it over to the door. Burn the rope. Pop the balloons. Ignore the one on the ground, because we don't need that. And just head straight for the lock to input loser. Not loppy. Which basically solves the entire puzzle, so we can get the valve handle to turn the water off. And so once we do this, we'll relight the candle. And then the lights go back out, which kind of freaks me out a little bit. Put the candle in the cake. At this point, I'm really hoping Ethan is smart enough to back up after seeing the tape, but you know how that goes. But without any gas on the ground, Lucas chimes in, very upset. And you can see that the wall behind us again has closed off, but we're safe. And then the first thing I notice is this hunk of dynamite. And then we just take the time to pull these boards off the window. Or, I guess the wall, not the window. Toss it ever so casually back. And then I don't know when the wall opened back up, but distance ourselves and just wait for the explosion. Naturally, Lucas is very upset, but we don't really care about how he feels. I'm still looking forward to killing him, so we get through these flames, and you can see the chair spinning, as in he was sitting right here. But this is actually a save room, which is really nice, and this is where I actually still have my latest save. You'll see me making it right here over top of whatever save that was. Man, that yard save right there. Anyway, I'm going to pick this back up with live footage, so see you then.